gonna need today is, of course, your serger machine, 2 of your favorite fabrics. I am using polyester, and I like to make sure that they have what's called 4-way stretch, so you can stretch it always. The other things we're gonna need: some elastic, scissors. I like to also use a loop turner, pins, and you could possibly need a seam ripper. Right now I don't have a favorite bikini, so what I'm gonna do is use a pair of my favorite underwear, because let's face it, they're gonna turn out possibly the same. So I just got some of those like Victoria's Secret really super thin panties. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I like to cut across my seams of whatever I'm copying. If it's like your favorite bikini and you don't want to cut it, then that's okay. You can just lay it on the fabric and kind of trace around it. Give yourself a little bit of room, because you're gonna need to sew together the pieces. So we couldn't sew it exactly like this, perhaps. It would make it a little bit smaller. So we just want to make sure that we put, just maybe like that much fabric extra, so that we'll be able to make a nice seam. Anyway, so this is what we're going to end up with. Something like this. Okay, so you can see here that I've laid out my template on top of my fabric, and I'm just going to cut one in this color and one in the next color. So here we go. Okay, so now you can see I have a template similar to what I want my bikini to look like. So one thing I like to do after I finish this is I like to fold my bikini in half and just make sure that it's somewhat symmetrical. Of course, you can turn your serger on to cut it for you to make it perfect. So it's not really too big of a deal, but it's good to kind of make sure that it's close in size. So just trim away the edges and make it a little bit closer. This is what I'm left with. Now what I'm gonna do is just lay this one out, lay this on top, and you guys will see me cut that one. So what I did, I flipped my fabric on right side down so that I know when I sew it together, it will be perfect. Okay, next thing that we need to do is pin our bikini together how we want to sew it. Okay, so what I ended up doing, we won't sew here. Sorry, let me move it up. We won't sew here or down these edges here, but we are going to sew across here and here. So stay tuned. Sure, I have everything on 4. Over here, have it on R, 3, and 1. And of course we have the knife. Knife is going to be turned off, which is on the left. Okay, so I decided to turn my bikini inside out because I started thinking about the back side and how I want it kind of to go, like I guess have like a split on the back. Does that make sense? Let me finish this and I'll show you. Okay. So the back of the bikini had this like little crease. I mean, well, underwear, but bikini. So I just want to make sure I'm gonna have that. So what I decided to do is flip it to where these ends are. And I'm just going to sew these together Okay, so it looks like I should have kept it inside out, so I'm just gonna turn it back inside out, and then we'll turn it back to right side in, if that makes sense. So, let's do the whole thing. Okay, this is right. Okay. So all we're gonna do is just sew right down here. Now let's turn the whole thing inside out through this hole. So of course take your time, try not to rip anything. And usually I would put elastic on the bikini, but I feel like because I didn't actually use a bikini template, I'm gonna just have to expect this thing to be stretching to fit correctly. Oh, cool, okay. So, we should have the other piece, yay! Oh, let me get in the video. Okay, so this is what we got so far. And then we flip it. We got that. Cool. So that was the crease I was talking about right here that I wanted on the back side, just so that, you know, kind of show off those buns a little bit. Okay, so last all we have is just to connect these two. I don't have a normal sewing machine, or else I think it would be a lot easier. So I'm gonna just hand sew this. So let's see how it turns out. Get it focused. There you go. Lining up these two sides. So I'm gonna try to line it up so I can sew across, and these two sides will end up together. And I'm just gonna go like a loop stitch across here. Just try to hide the seams as best you can. Like I said, nobody's really gonna see this, and I'm definitely not a professional bikini maker at any anyway, but you know, just go a couple times. I would say go back and forth minimum 2 times on this, and I like to really secure the edge seams a few times, just because, you know, that's probably where they're gonna get the most wear and tear. So and I like to leave this tail from the very beginning, and I'll just tie it off right here. And the back, and the reversible. Next I'll be making a top, and then also a baby bathing suit